Bonjour. This recording is designed to give you a summary of the major grammatical points that were covered in French 101. I've decided to focus on 5 major grammatical areas, which are as follows: verb conjugation, pronouns, gender, number, and question formation. I strongly suggest that you read the accompanying paper as I go through these points. You may stop the video at any time to review certain points and repeat this as often as you need. Point number 1, verb conjugation. In order to understand French verbs, we must recognize the difference between an infinitive and a conjugated verb. An infinitive is the base form of a verb. It is not capable of showing tense, that is, past, present, or future, nor does it show person, first person, person or persons speaking, second person, person or persons spoken to, or third person, person or persons, thing, or things spoken about. Nor does it show number, that is, singular or plural. A conjugated verb shows all 3 of these characteristics. The process of conjugation involves matching the appropriate verb form with a given subject. Let's begin with 3 very commonly used but irregular verbs. Please repeat after me. Être, je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. The next verb is avoir, to have. Please repeat. Avoir. J'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. Finally, there is aller, to go. Please repeat. Je vais, tu vas, il va, elle va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont, elles vont. The words être, avoir, and aller are infinitives. The conjugated verb forms show present tense, person, je and nous would be first person, tu and vous, second person, il et elle, singular and plural, denote third person. And number. For each verb, the column on the left indicates singular subjects, and the column on the right indicates plural subjects, more or less. I say more or less because vous can be singular or plural, depending on the context. Please note that when we conjugate a verb, we always do it as above. As stated above, être, avoir, and aller are irregular. Fortunately, not all verbs are irregular. Most verbs that end in er have a predictable pattern. That pattern is as follows. We have the infinitive parler. Parler means to speak. We remove the er which leaves the stem parle, P-A-R-L. To this stem, we add the following endings: je parle, tu parles, il parle, elle parle, nous parlons, vous parlez, il parle, elle parle. Please repeat after me. Je parle, tu parles, il parle, elle parle, nous parlons, vous parlez, il parle, elle parle. All infinitives that end in er follow this pattern except for aller, see above, and envoyer, which means to send. Please do the above operations, that is, conjugate the following verbs: marcher, téléphoner, regarder, étudier, et écouter. Keep in mind that the majority of ER verbs follow this pattern. Nonetheless, certain irregular verbs that we will encounter must be learned separately. Please learn their conjugation as stated above for the 3 irregular verbs at the beginning of this video. Now, I would like for us to move to part 2, pronouns. Please excuse me for looking at my watch, but YouTube has certain video limits, and I do not want to go beyond them for this first part of this video presentation. Pronouns. Pronouns are words that take the place of nouns. We used pronouns in section 1 when we conjugated verbs. In French 101, we studied 3 categories of pronouns. The first category was subject pronouns. As their name suggests, they are used as subjects of verbs. The subject pronouns are as follows. Repeat: je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle. Please note that the third person singular and third person plural pronouns are pronounced the same. Sometimes the verb used will give a clue as to the number, sometimes not. In that case, we have to rely on the context to determine whether or not il or elle would be singular or plural. Another category of French pronouns is the so-called stress pronouns, known as pronoms disjoints in French. These pronouns are used immediately after the verb être or as objects of prepositions. Prepositions are words such as à, pour, avec, dans, entre, en, chez, and others. If you do not know the meaning of these words, please use the glossary in your textbook, a French to English dictionary, or go to www.wordreference.com. The stress pronouns are as follows. Please repeat after me. From now on, I will say veuillez répéter. Veuillez répéter. Moi, toi, lui, elle, nous, vous, eux, elle. the meaning of these pronouns would be as follows: me, you, him, her, us, you, them, masculine, them, feminine. Examples of stress pronoun usage. C'est moi le frère de Jacques. Répétez. C'est moi le frère de Jacques. Je vais au cinéma avec eux. Répétez. Je vais au cinéma avec eux. We also have direct object pronouns. A direct object is the noun or pronoun that receives the action of the verb without an intervening preposition. For example, in the sentence, I see Bill, Bill is the direct object. If we were to use a pronoun, we would say, I see him. The French direct object pronouns are, veuillez répéter, me, te, le, la, nous, vous, les. Examples of direct pronoun usage. Je vois Bill. Je le vois. Répétez. Je vois Bill. Je le vois. Je vois Bill et Marie. Répétez. Je vois Bill et Marie. Je les vois. Je les vois. Marie regarde la télévision. Elle la regarde. Répétez. Marie regarde la télévision. Elle la regarde. Note that regarder includes the concept of looking at without the use of a preposition. When judging grammatical categories in French, always use the French structure for analysis instead of its translation in English. Me, te, le, and la can be abbreviated to M', T', or L' before a vowel. For example, Suzanne m'aime. Répétez. Suzanne m'aime. J'étudie le français. Je l'étudie. Répétez. J'étudie le français. Je l'étudie. Part D, the pronoun E. A special pronoun that we learned was E. E replaces a preposition of place followed by an inanimate noun, i.e. a place or thing. Common prepositions of place are à, en, dans, chez, sur, sous, among others. Examples of usage. Répétez. Je vais à Paris. J'y vais. Barbara va en Chine. Elle y va. Another special pronoun that we learned is en. En, when placed before a verb, replaces de followed by an inanimate noun, i.e. a place or thing. Marie revient de Boston. Elle en revient. This concludes part 1.